Hi, it's Recap in 8 minutes here. Today I'll talk about Gulliver's Travels, an adventure and fantasy film. Beware of spoilers. Lemuel Gulliver, a middle-aged man, starts his day in his cluttered New York apartment. He interacts with superhero toys and dances in the shower, revealing his playful personality. Gulliver, employed in the mailroom of a New York newspaper, befriends a new colleague, Dan, who is under his supervision. While distributing mail, they encounter Darcy Silverman, a journalist and Gulliver's longtime crush. Gulliver harbors a long-held, unspoken affection for Darcy. On the same day, Dan receives an unexpected promotion to lead the mailroom. After 10 years at the company, Gulliver is not respected. Dan suggests that Gulliver's reluctance to speak up hinders his career advancement beyond the mailroom. An uneasy Gulliver notices Darcy working overtime and attempts to ask her out. Overwhelmed by anxiety, he instead grabs a random document from her desk and leaves. Darcy offers Gulliver a travel writing mission. Eagerly, he accepts and crafts a travel blog, sourcing material online. When Darcy commends his writing, she assigns him to investigate and report on the mysterious ship disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle. Eager to impress Darcy, Gulliver accepts. She arranges a boat in Bermuda, where he arrives and receives guidance on its operation from a local. Gulliver embarks on his lone journey to the Bermuda Triangle in an automated vessel. He spends the initial hours enjoying magazines and Coca-Cola, then quickly falls asleep. Gulliver awakens to a huge wave and storm. He dons a life jacket as the boat rocks. Turning, he spots a massive sea tornado. Swept into it, he wakes up immobile, astonished to see tiny men atop his chest. Commander Edward Edwardian of Lilliput introduces himself and labels Gulliver as Beast, amidst a throng of tiny onlookers. Confused and scared, Gulliver breaks free, only to be knocked out by Edward's soldiers. Gulliver awakens bound, taken to Lilliput's kingdom, and introduced to King Theodore. Princess Mary sympathizes with him and questions the bindings. Edward accuses him of espionage for Blefuscia, and Gulliver inquires about his location. Jinx, King Theodore's secretary, informs Gulliver he's in Lilliput, the world's most eminent nation. Gulliver suspects a joke and searches for an imaginary cameraman. Soon, he's depicted confined in a cave. Gulliver meets Horatio, imprisoned by Edward for pursuing Princess Mary. Edward, labeled fool by them, threatens lifetime imprisonment. But Gulliver insists fool means brave, prompting Edward to employ them in field work. Gulliver, chained, springs into action when Blefuscia launches an attack and sets the palace ablaze. He overpowers the enemy soldiers, rescuing the princess, as the king and his aide are trapped in flames. Gulliver extinguishes the fire uniquely, earning applause for saving King Theodore. The king frees Gulliver and Horatio, thanking Gulliver for his valor and hosting a feast. At the banquet, Gulliver, presumed to be Manhattan's president, concocts a tale of being President the Awesome. All but Edward believe him. Lilliputians build Gulliver a grand house. Upon Gulliver's request, the king arranges a search for his shipwreck and orders a theater built in the kingdom. Gulliver stages the Titanic's sinking, claiming it as his own story, astonishing everyone. Edward questions his survival from drowning, to which Gulliver responds he was revived. Horatio seeks Gulliver's assistance to woo Princess Mary, and he agrees. Slow. Horatio, assisted by a hidden Gulliver, approaches the princess at the palace. Gulliver helps Horatio by whispering the lyrics of Kiss. The princess becomes smitten with Horatio, but Edward, her official suitor, interrupts. Despite Mary's disinterest in Edward, their marriage seems fated. Meanwhile, the search team discovers Gulliver's boat. Gulliver discovers his phone still works and listens to Darcy's messages, upset about his plagiarized article. Opting to stay in Lilliput instead of facing her in New York, Gulliver earns the king's trust and is appointed general, demoting Edward. Jealous, Edward disables Lilliput's defense, leaving the kingdom vulnerable to Blefuscia's attacks. Blefuscia's soldiers plan an attack on Lilliput, and as the general, Gulliver bravely confronts them in water. Despite his apprehension, he overcomes them, becoming Lilliput's hero. In gratitude, Lilliputians fulfill his wishes, creating a miniature Times Square and adopting similar attire. Edward intrudes into the princess's chamber, claiming courting rights, but she rebuffs his love. Angered, he heads to Blefuscia and secures support to construct a robot, using a book from Gulliver's boat to battle him. Days later, at the miniature Times Square, Gulliver confronts a giant robot controlled by Edward. Forced into a duel, he struggles against the stronger robot, which overpowers him, leading to Gulliver confessing his lie about being president. Shocked by Gulliver's betrayal, the king and princess witness Edward banishing him to a forbidden island. There, a giant girl mistakes Gulliver for a toy. Back in Lilliput, Darcy is discovered on the beach and imprisoned by Edward, who thinks she's Gulliver's princess. She meets the imprisoned king and queen. Horatio journeys to a forbidden island to save Gulliver, who escapes back to Lilliput using a parachute. There, Gulliver admits his affection for Darcy in prison, and she, forgiving his plagiarism, starts warming up to him. Gulliver challenges Edward to a duel, not for valor, but to assist Lilliput. In the fight, Gulliver stipulates Edward must return the kingdom to Theodore if defeated. Edward swiftly gains the upper hand, but Horatio intervenes, infiltrating the robot to aid Gulliver. Horatio, inside the robot, overcomes Edward, enabling Gulliver's victory. The triumph is acclaimed by all, including Darcy. Horatio's valor earns him the right to court Princess Mary, leading to their kiss. In desperation, Edward kidnaps the princess, but she defeats him. Darcy shares her first kiss with Gulliver. Gulliver prevents another war between Blefuscia and Lilliput, fostering peace by reciting Edwin Starr's War. He and Darcy head back to New York, and weeks later, Gulliver, as a travel writer, enjoys a joyful relationship with Darcy. The film concludes with them leaving Darcy's office hand in hand. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.